We are now extremely close to the start of the NFL regular season. If you are excited for real, actual football to be back, then show me you are by simply liking today's video. As we have done for several days in a row now, we begin with latest on one Brandon Aiyuk. Somehow, some way, frustratingly, the saga continues. It's like some of the book authors that just keep ending on cliffhangers, 8 books in or whatever. It is not over for the Niners, the Steelers, Aiyuk, and anyone else who ends up fitting into that category. Here is the latest from Albert Breer, which I think actually sums it up pretty decently, assuming his reporting is accurate. The Niners star didn't want to go to New England, which offered him more than $30 million per year in its proposals, or the Cleveland Browns. The Steelers' price point was less than $28 million, which put Pittsburgh right in the neighborhood the Niners weren't inhabiting, with Mike Tomlin's presence there the drawing card. That, in turn, pushed Aiyuk back to the table with the 49ers. As it stands, the situation is unstable. If the Niners could have gotten a player via a deal with the Steelers, Pittsburgh refused to give one up, so it had to have been in a corresponding trade. There's a chance Aiyuk would be in Pittsburgh now. And although things have certainly gotten inside between him and the Niners, no doors have closed on a return. Look, this has been something, and I don't mean that in a good way. I mean that in a derogatory way. This has been a disaster. This has gone on for far too long for a player I think is really good, but it's not worth the amount of drama that he has caused in the process. Part of me wonders if he ever wanted to leave San Francisco. And was this an attempt to get more money out of them? And they kind of called his bluff, and now they're in a weird spot. And look, he wants to get Amon-Ra St. Brown money. That's fine. That's reasonable for him. Maybe he settles a little bit less. He's missed all this time, and he has to play really well, or it's going to be like, all that time we gave to Malik Neighbors, and look how he's, to Brandon Aiyuk, look how he's doing now. It's been a weird situation. I frankly am over this. This has gone on too long. There has been too much drama caused over this. I feel bad for Steelers fans. I feel bad for 49ers fans. I feel bad for Browns, Patriots, and everyone else who just wants a decision, and yet there is none. And you're running out of time with the season almost here. So are you over the Brandon Aiyuk saga? Y for yes, N for no. It's the pinned comment, by the way, on today's video. Look, I think Aiyuk is a damn good football player. I think he's really good. I mean, he was remarkably efficient for San Francisco last year. He benefits from the supporting cast around him, but I also think he's a huge part of that supporting cast. And Kittle and Debo and McCaffrey and Purdy. I think he's an awesome football player. I think he really is. I get why he wants to get somewhere in that $30 million price tag range. Remember, before the whole trade drama emerged, he wanted 30. The Niners were offering a little bit more than Devonta Smith money. So, of course, he said no. Of course he did. That doesn't make sense for Aiyuk. The guaranteed money was probably an under-the-radar sticking point, too. That's also undergone massive change this offseason. I wonder if just the Niners partially misjudged the wide receiver market and how it was going to explode, which happens. But it's been a lot messier than it needs to be. So when I say this next part, I think, and I apologize if I speak out of turn, but I think I speak for all the different Niners and Steelers fans here. Somebody get this done already. It is August 20th. I don't want to sit back up here next week. Well, we won't do NFL Live with Ross Carton. I don't want to sit up here again in a week or 5 days or 2 weeks and go, well, top NFL story. Nobody knows what's going on with Brandon Aiyuk. That's dumb. I'm over it. Stop it. So I hope there's a decision soon. I have no vested interest in what it ends up being. I just hope that there is one soon. Today's show is made possible by PrizePicks. PrizePicks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. The thing I like most about it, unlike some other apps out there, you're just battling against the numbers. More or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. Get them right, you watch the winnings rolling. You don't have to worry about, hey, I got them all right, but I didn't pick the 3 most perfect ones. You just got to get them right. And you can even do the flex play. You don't have to get them all right. You can get 2 out of 3 right or 3 out of 4 right, whatever, instead, and come out on top. I got some season-long prize picks laid out already. I like the Joe Burrow, Trevor Lawrence, Dak Prescott more than passing yards. If they stay healthy, they're going to get there. Those are all well below their true expectations of playing even just 16 games in the regular season. So download the PrizePicks app today at prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. That's code CLNS over at prizepicks.com/CLNS for the first deposit match up to $100. It's PrizePicks. Run your game. Links in the comments and the description of today's show. Ja'Marr Chase's latest here. I think Adam Schefter, ESPN, gave a pretty interesting update on the Ja'Marr Chase Holden situation. Here's what Schefter said. It was actually part of a fantasy show, which I find interesting that somehow they buried it on that one because it's pretty juicy. This is the one that to me remains the most mysterious because unlike Brandon Aiyuk and CeeDee Lamb, who we'll discuss here in a second, Ja'Marr Chase has 2 years left on his contract. Not one. We already heard Bengals owner Mike Brown come out and say he prefer to wait to do this deal. Now, I think Cincinnati will still push to get this deal done. But from my understanding, there has been a whole lot of progress. If there's not a whole lot of progress, you wonder what's next. Now, Chad Ochocinco said over the weekend he thinks the two sides will figure out a deal this week. But he also added, if the two sides can't get a deal done, he does not believe that Ja'Marr Chase will step foot on a football field again until he has a new contract. I think there are other people around the league who feel the same way about that particular situation that I think has flown a little bit under the radar. Actual game holdouts, not preseason, regular season holdouts, are very rare. And that's a really good way to be viewed as the villain, whether it's fair or not, by the fan base, because now you're really hurting the team's chances of winning football games. I have my doubts that Ja'Marr Chase would actually do that. The quarterback might throw a hissy fit alongside of him, but I would be surprised if that truly happened. So prediction. Does Ja'Marr Chase get paid before week 1? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Go ahead and sound off for me in the comment section of today's show. Remember we did the whole Ja'Marr Chase, Penei Sewell debate of if you don't have Penei Sewell, no one will have success in the Bengals offense. Well, it worked out pretty damn well for Cincinnati, by the way. And Penei Sewell's also been really good. Chase has been a 1,000-yard receiver every year of his career, despite his numbers kind of dipping a bit last year, really 2 years in a row to an extent, injuries and quarterback injuries there. That's one of the best receivers in football. From like a young guy perspective, so like taking like Tyreek Hill and Devontae Adams and stuff, it's Chase, Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb in some combination. Now, Chase, as a former top 5 pick, probably trying to get in that Justin Jefferson range. That would put him to the top of the highest paid non-QBs. There's Justin Jefferson, $35 million. Nick Bosa, A.J. Brown, Chris Jones, Amon-Ra St. Brown. I know there's sticker shock there, but when the NFL salary cap is about to be $300 million, guess what? Player salaries rise to that. That's how it works. The big sticking point, especially for Cincinnati, is guaranteed money. The Bengals don't like guaranteeing money outside of the first year, sometimes 2, but normally the first year. And they broke their rules for Joe Burrow. But this is what happens when you have premium players these days in the NFL. You can give Ja'Marr Chase a $40 million a year contract. If the first year is guaranteed and that's it, it's kind of a fake contract. So that guaranteed money, I would bet, is probably a pretty big thing. It's been a problem in the past. It's why Jesse Bates is in Atlanta. They didn't want to guarantee him beyond the first year of the deal, which was the franchise tag. It's why he's in Atlanta. They're going to have to break their rules for Chase. When they break them, which I think they will, whether it's this offseason or next, is what's up for question. For all the best NFL coverage, you guys have come to the right spot. Free videos for you guys every single day. Hit that sub button, youtube.com/chatsportstv. It is the wide receiver show. Let's go to CeeDee Lamb's latest here. His contract saga continues to roll on as we finally hit the cryptic Instagram post phase, which frankly, thought we'd get here a lot earlier. CeeDee Lamb yesterday posting this Instagram post. It is actually not still from the movie. It was actually an edit from it. Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man 3, black Spider-Man suit. What does it mean? I actually think it's a little obvious what it means, despite the theories I've seen out there. Contract talks have not gone well. I don't think it takes a rocket scientist or a real journalist or whatever to figure that stuff out. Like, they have not gone well. And frankly, as we'll get into in a moment, the issues are less about the average per year. I don't think Lamb and Dallas are that far off on what the average per year of that contract should look like. I really, truly don't. Now, there are issues we'll get to here in a second, but both these guys, Chase and Lamb, vying to get paid big, fat contract money. So who gets paid first? JC for Jamar Chase, CL for CeeDee Lamb. Let me know in the comment section of today's show. Here was the latest update from Clarence Hill. The Cowboys have traded proposals with Lamb's agent, Tory Dandy, since the start of training camp, and they have yet to get to $33 million annually. Contract structure and length also remain roadblocks towards the deal. I'd frankly argue the structure and length of the deal, which is the guaranteed money, are more important. In general, not always the case, but in general, if you add more years to a contract, you're going to put more average per year because the way you do those backloaded contracts, it's about $2 million per year that should be able to stash and hide and load later. And that assumes a normal guarantee structure because guaranteed money matters the most. That first Tyreek Hill contract was kind of fake. That $30 million had like 45 in the last year that wasn't guaranteed. Now they've got him a real $30 million per year contract, and they use some of that extra base salary as guarantee money. It's kind of a smart structure by Miami. You talk to anyone around the NFL who knows what they're talking about and isn't just trying to get hot take stuff out there. Everyone around the NFL thinks this gets done. But it is weird and not great that there's been this long delay. Justin Jefferson got paid 2.5 months ago. And even if we want to believe the theory of Lamb was making sure he waited until Justin Jefferson got paid so the market was set, that was 2.5 months ago. 78 days. Why are we still waiting? I think it's a bad example, again, of the Cowboys' top-of-the-market contracts having major issues.